What is going on, my dudes and dudettes? It's showing you the SNS Serpentarium. I'm chilling with my Dummerell's boa male right now. He's a very, very handsome boy. He's tamed down a lot since I've had him, and he's looking really good, nice and lean and muscular as well. So I'm really, really happy with this boy. But yeah, let's just get straight into it. Today we're going to be talking about breeding boa constrictors. Obviously this isn't a boa constrictor, this is a boa dummerelli. But it's the principles of breeding. Similar snakes are very similar. So you can cross the information over to different species and such. I'm only moving about quite a lot here to give him opportunity to you know, sort of have you know, have a bit of exercise and stuff. I wouldn't normally do that. He's just breathing a lot, and he's telling me that he's uncomfortable with it, so I'll just calm it down a little bit. So these Dummerell boas, you've got to cool them a little bit. I have been slowly cooling them. You don't want to cool them too much, because that isn't going to be great for the snake. And you don't want to cool them too quickly either. Common boas, you've also got to cool them a little bit, but not to the extreme that you would have to cool a Dummerell's boa. A Dummerell's boa needs to be cooled down to about 70 degrees Fahrenheit, and no heat spot then at night. Whereas a common boa, you could cool them to say 85 degrees at the hot spot at night, and then maybe like 75 degrees Fahrenheit at the cool end at night, and that would probably do the trick. To be honest, I know in the UK, because we've got such high pressures and stuff, you know, such pressure difference between summer and winter, I know a lot of people don't actually bother touching the thermostat. They just put the boas in together, and that, you know, that is enough. With these guys, you can't really do that. They do need that little bit more convincing to breed. With any boa or boide, you've got to make sure that they are up to size and they are actually healthy, healthy enough to breed and healthy enough to you know, to be introduced into each other. They've got to have had a full quarantine, providing they're bought from separate breeders as adults before they are introduced. You're better off buying babies and slowly growing them on for say 6-8 years before you do breed boas. Especially these Dummerell's boas, because they are very slow growing. Just give it that bit of extra time to you know, to let them mature out fully like this pair has, and then you're gonna get bigger, healthier babies, maybe bigger litters. The babies then, they're gonna come out with bigger yolk sacs, and they're probably gonna have more chance to mature into nice big healthy adults. They may even be better feeders for you, and the principle is going to be exactly the same with your boa constrictors. You know, with your BCIs, it's going to be exactly the same. The only difference is boa constrictors, they can breed a lot younger than these guys. You can breed a boa constrictor typically, you know, if you slow grow, you can breed at 5. So that is quite a bit younger than what you could breed one of these. Even if you were to power feed one of these, you would not be able to get it to that sort of stage at 5. In most cases anyway, there are some exceptions. But generally, even if you take your time with a common boa, they'll be up to size at 5 years old. Breeding weight for a boa constrictor, you want the female to be about 3.5 kilos or bigger. And then you want the length then to match that sort of weight. So you don't want it to be short and fat, you want it to have a nice, lean, healthy build. Like what this boy has here, he's nice and lean, okay, but he's long as well. He's actually about 6 kilos, perhaps a little bit less than that. It's hard to really weigh these guys. I think he's somewhere between 5 and 6 kilos. He's certainly not over 6 kilos. But this sort of size for a female boa constrictor would actually be enough to breed, believe it or not. But bigger typically the better. But again, please don't power feed. Let them grow naturally. and slowly, and you know, they'll thank you in the long run. You'll have a much longer lived snake, and overall you will get more babies out of it because it'll produce for a longer period of time, and it will actually live a lot longer. So with boa constrictors and boa damerali, they're both live bearers. That means then that all the babies come out live. They don't actually lay eggs. They do come out in an egg sac, so it is technically a clutch still, but it isn't really a clutch, if that makes any sense. You're not incubating any eggs. There's no telling when a female is going to drop a live litter of babies. For boa constrictors, it's typically a lot shorter than what it is for boa damerali. Boa damerali, you can't actually be waiting until September, October time for them to actually drop the clutch, even though you breed them at the same time. They have a longer gestation period because you keep them that quite a lot cooler. And boa constrictor imperialator, then they typically drop a litter or a clutch about anywhere from April to say July. That's typically where the window is going to be. There are some outside of that sort of area. Can be a month or two later, can be a month or two earlier. Depends on when you pair them. Depends if you cool them or not. You know what sort of, you know, sea level you live on, you know, because that'll affect the pressure outside and stuff like that. There's a lot of factors that contribute, but generally that is the sort of time period you're looking at. With raising the babies, they're both boa damerali and boa constrictor imperialator. They're both born with yolk sacs, so sometimes it can take a little while to get them feeding. Generally though, boa BCIs, they're a lot easier to get going than the boa dameralis, because the boa dameralis, they've got slower metabolisms than the BCIs, and they're actually born with bigger yolk sacs. Sometimes with the BCIs, you actually the best way to get them eaten is to cool them through winter, as you would an adult if you're breeding them, and then when you warm them back up, that kick starts the eating. When you're growing BCIs on, you'll find that they are good eaters. They'll eat every week for you if you wanted them to. But I would recommend feeding even a young BCI every 14 days on a reasonably sized meal. Nothing larger than its girth, because you don't want to get in fat. The snake isn't going to starve. It's not going to be unhealthy. Just feed it sensibly. Keep it on mice for the first year or two, because mice have more vitamins per size than what a rat would. And this is because a adult mouse is 30 grams. That's got a lot more calcium than a baby rat would, because at the end of the day, a rat that's 30 grams is only a baby. So up to an adult mouse, then it is better really to feed them on mice. But after that, then you are going to be looking towards switching to rats, and the same principle is applied for Dameral's boas. The main difference being Dameral's boas are very prone to fasting. Generally speaking, a lot of breeders and keepers say to brumate them in the winter as you would for a breeding pair. And what that does then, it gives them a set eating and non-eating time frame then, and that'll kickstart them in the spring and stop them fasting in the summer. But each individual is different. Yours may not need that. Mine certainly, as far as I'm aware, have never been cooled before. I don't really know though, because obviously I'm not in touch with the actual owner of these guys, the previous owner. I actually bought these through a shop. So that's really it, guys. Enjoy whatever boa you've got, whether it be a boa damerali or a boa constrictor imperator or imperialator, whatever you want to call it. BCI or BI as it's now called. Enjoy the snake. Please be sensible with it. Please keep it properly. Always use a thermostat. I hope you've enjoyed this video, guys. Make sure you drop us a like if you have enjoyed it. Comment down below what your thoughts are. I'd love to hear from you all. I hope you've had a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.